I've not played as many indie titles in 2024 as I would have liked to. However, I did have the opportunity to experience Neva. As someone who enjoys a wide variety of genres, I'm not typically one to spend time with narrative-driven games, especially not narrative-driven platformers. That being said, it was a fantastic breakaway from my typical fast-paced platformer. Neva is a gorgeous title, and you can see this in the game's opening segment. Throughout my playthrough, I couldn't help but feel that I was playing something created by Studio Ghibli in both story and aesthetic. With many of Miyazaki's films centering around environmentalism, Alba and her cub companion Neva are stuck traversing a dying world brought about by a shadowy figure. The story of this game is not necessarily your pursuit of this force, but rather your survival in this hostile setting and the relationship of Neva and Alba. Neva is broken into 4 chapters, each representing a season, and with the passing of time comes the growth of Neva and her ability to offer support. You'll find that each season does not simply portray the climate of that time. During the summer, for example, you'll tread through a beautiful meadow which really displays the wonderful art direction of the game. However, within this same chapter, you'll be stuck within a decaying forest that is quite literally breaking apart. In later levels, the setting can become almost entirely abstract. This abstract feel is not something I expected, but it was in these moments when I was enjoying my experience the most. Without getting into spoilers, Alba's relationship with Neva does progress, and you'll find yourself genuinely caring for the two, especially during the times when they're separated. However, Neva does not play too vital of a role when it comes to the gameplay, at least not until she's able to be used in combat scenarios. The combat of this title is actually incredibly simple, offering some basic attacks, a roll, and an air dash. Once Neva ages, however, she can be utilized essentially as a ranged weapon. I'm not saying this as a negative because I never got the feeling that this was an action-oriented game, but rather a puzzle platformer with action. The platforming experience in this title does a great job utilizing its withering environment and abstract setting. There's some fun scenarios where you'll have to use Neva quickly to open pathways, and there's a really unique mirror sequence in the winter arc. There's plenty of variety here across the game's levels, but very rarely did anything jump out to me saying this has not been done before. You're not unlocking a bunch of new abilities as you would in a Metroidvania, and there's only one collectible item across the game that doesn't do anything to your abilities. I actually realized this halfway through my playthrough, but was still enjoying my time primarily because of the setting and the narrative. This is not to say that the gameplay was not enjoyable, because it actually plays incredibly well, but more so that my focus was on the set pieces of the world and the journey of Alba and Neva. Unlike other platformers that solely rely on the gimmicks of each stage, Neva emphasizes the adventure. There's a lot that occurs between levels, and there's plenty of scenes that break up the more linear gameplay, such as this. I actually had no idea that this game carried bosses, but there's actually a few, and it is certainly a spectacle. The combat and platforming isn't overly challenging, but I also wouldn't call it easy, and the same can be said for the boss fights. Every fight is significant, not due to the gameplay when facing these giants, but more so the impact that their defeat has on the surrounding area. I won't go into too many details here, but I promise you that it's something to look forward to. As I said at the start of this video, I have not played as many indie titles as I would have liked to in 2024, but I did get a chance to try some of the larger releases like Void Rot and Nine Souls. And as much as I enjoyed my time with Nine Souls, Neva is still my number one. If you like this video, then I do hope you consider subscribing, as I'll do my best to cover those titles that deserve the recognition, and you can also find plenty of my quick previews/reviews on YouTube Shorts and or TikTok that you will not find in the full-length format. If you have any recommendations from 2024, then do drop them in the comments below. So, until next time.